Hello everyone, it's Mich here and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by, and if you are one of my returning crafty friends and kindred spirits, I'm so happy to have you here today with me. Today's going to be another week in the Collage with Mich. This is a little challenge I put together in April just with some easy prompts so we can just work on this together and share our ideas. Now I'm doing a Rolodex and a Memorydex, and then I also do, well, I try to, so far I've been successful, a little card to send away in Happy Mail, a little postcard from a blank that I have. And you can use whatever style. There is a Facebook group that I've started, and I had the details here. It's Mich Crafty Community, and I will leave the information in the description box below if you want to join that group and share your creations. And or if you just want the list of prompts, you can email me at mishcrafty8664@gmail.com, and then I can just email you the little prompts. Today is week 8 in this challenge, and it's butterfly and ink. So like I said, I have been doing the Memorydex, so I do have quite a few weeks, well, 7 weeks that we've been doing it so far. So here's some of the ideas if you want to watch those past tutorials. I still love that one. And then with the Memorydex, or the Rolodex, I have them in here so they're harder to see. I don't have the little windy one, but there's also, this is more of a vintagey feel. I think that one's sweet. And yeah, so that's that. And then I have some postcards to go out, and I'm hoping to get these out actually before this video airs, but we'll see. So with the prompt ink, I've already gone ahead and did a little bit of messing around with my Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. So to do this, which I'm sure you know already, is that I just put a little bit onto this piece of packaging, just something that's cellophane, and then I do a little spritz of water, and then I just take it and just kind of smush it down. Now I wanted to do these ahead of time because I wanted those to dry. The colors I used for my backgrounds for this one is the fired brick and the peeled paint. And that will kind of go with the images. For this one here, I think I might just do some blending, but we'll set this aside for now because I want to continue to work on these ones. So what I also thought I would do is use some stencils just to take my ink pad and do a little bit of stenciling in the background. So I'm going to use basically the green. It is part of the background already. And I'm just going to do up my dauber and just do a couple little bubbles, which will hopefully just blend into the background. You can hardly see it, but you can kind of see that it just adds a little bit of something. You can introduce a new color at this point if you want, but you want to make sure that obviously it goes with your palette. Now the images that I'm using are from Marta's Mary one of her collage books, which again, I'm sure you know, they're all over the internet. And the images have this kind of a tone to them, which is a little bit of that red kind of green going through it. So I thought that would those colors would go right. But I also want to introduce maybe a little hint of blue, and I think that the blue, so this is speckled egg, might bring out the image a little bit more. So I'm not going to go really heavy, but just enough that it's going to add those accents of blue, like so. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So the blue just kind of is subtle enough to just kind of add to it without being a focal point itself. So I'm kind of happy with that. And then this is going to be my Memorydex one. Now I got thinking about, I'm going to be sending this postcard in the mail, And these are water reactive, so if this gets wet, it's going to run all over the place. So I do have a spray fixative that I'm going to take outside when it's all done and then just give it a coat so that won't end up running all over the Canada Post mailbag. Okay, so then I have pulled a few stamps. This stamp is a really old stamp, and I was thinking that I would like to get a little bit of the music notes. So I don't care if it's all over the stamp. I basically just want it to go into, yeah, that's good, in just kind of in the background. Like so. Oh yeah, I like that. And I don't even care if it's straight or even. I just think that that looks so good. I don't even know if it's with the music notes. I don't even know sometimes if they're right side up or upside down. I can never tell. So I don't stress too much about it. Okay, I can hear Chester. So I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and the weather has turned now, so it's lovely that I can have the windows open. So Chessie likes to get in the window and nap and look out for the birds and stuff. And I can hear him snoring. Okay, and this stamp set is a new stamp set I got off Amazon. It took quite a while to get here. So we'll see how it fares. Oh, that's nice. And I always like to wipe my stamps with a baby wipe, but by the time I usually get this baby wipe out, this archival ink is dry already. Okay, and what other one do we want in the background? I'm going to leave that out in case I want it on my other one. I think maybe we'll take this one and get that, kind of do a little cluster maybe. And up in the corner. My focal point is going to kind of be there. Like so. Now I do have some butterfly stamps, and I was debating whether to put them on or not. But where the butterfly is going to be the focal point, I don't think I will. I'm thinking, oh, I always like to have some words. So I have some words here. I'm not going to worry about this on a stamping block. Like so. And where should we have some words? Maybe right, because my focal point's going to be there. A little bit of there and there, I guess. Okay, well, I'm quite happy with those backgrounds. So we used ink to do some splotching. We used ink to do some stenciling and to do some stamping. Now you can also do splatters, which I might do. But so this is the image that I'm going to use for the postcard. Now I just want to get my antique linen. Antique linen sometimes helps it blend into the background. And I've got some right here. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to go around the edge of this. And I'm not going to distress it too much, but if I just kind of take the whiteness off the edge, it's going to blend into my background a little bit better, I think. I don't use antique linen a lot for blending backgrounds, but it's good for going around images and stuff. A little bit on the antenna. And see, like magic, I think I'll take this bit of flower off. Okay, and then I think that's good. This one here is just going to be quite plain, but I really like it. Now my saying for both my Memorydex and this card is that butterflies are flowers with wings. I think that's so lovely. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Elmer's glue to get this down. Like so. Good as it'll, and this one here, because it's going in the mail, it needs to be really stuck down. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle. Like so. Okay, and I'm just going to turn it over and press it out some. Okay, and then just going to cut this a bit. Make it a little bit thinner. And then I will take the antique linen and just go along the edge a little bit. Just to take a little bit of the stark whiteness off it. Okay, and then we'll get that down. Butterflies are flowers with wings. So there, that's going to go out at some point in the mail. And then for this centerpiece, I've taken one of the mushroom images and I glued it onto some thicker cardstock and put it up on dimensionals. So I think that's going to go there. And then I have my saying, which I think is just going to go up there. Butterflies are flowers with wings. And then I have another little butterfly here that I thought could kind of go off to the side like so. So again, I'm just going to take some of this. Should have done this beforehand, but I was finding it hard to get organized today. I was up since 5. Now that the daylight breaks at 4:30ish, I tend to be up quite early. And I have the day off today. So I went off to Walmart for when it opened at 7 to get some things that I need, some groceries and stuff for Chester. This litter. Okay, so we cut out there. So I think the blip was that the video was cutting out. And I don't know what I said, but I'm going to say it again and try to edit it out. Is that I put the mushroom up on some cardstock and some dimensionals because I just, with the Memorydex, I can be more dimensional. So I really like doing that. So let's stick that there. And then I was thinking that the saying would either go up top or down bottom. I think down bottom. I think up top makes it a bit top heavy. So let's get this down. So it was raining last night and this morning, but it's not sunny right now, but it's not raining. So I'm hoping to get, Bobby's coming over later, and I'm hoping to get my hostas cleaned up out front. Okay, so then we have that, and we have this little guy. So I'm kind of thinking to maybe put him like that. How does that look? I think that looks cute. So we'll get him down. With the Rolodex, I sometimes struggle with which way to put it. Do I put the thing? Oh no, I just realized. Did you guys realize what's going to happen? Is I'm going to be putting my holes there, and it's gonna go over the saying. So I'm gonna have to put this up top and see how we can make this work. Butterflies are flowers with wings. Isn't that a cute saying? I think it is. I've been doing more with my watercolor paints. They're out on the kitchen table still. But that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to have to lower this down a little bit. I should have found a smaller butterfly, I guess. How does that look? That looks okay. And then I've got this small one here to go up in the top corner. Like so. So I think that's kind of cute. You could do more with it. You could distress the edge a little bit just to frame it up some. So this is just that antique linen. Alright, so we've got that done. So now I have a punch that punches this out, but I'm going to have to measure it up off of one of my other ones, so I'll do that later. And then lastly, I just want to work on my little Rolodex one. So I think I will just blend some of the background, the green, and I don't have, just use this, just put a little bit of color in with the fired brick. Like so. And then I think for the edge, I'm just going to do a little bit of frayed burlap. It's one of my favorite ones. Just to give the edge a little. Oh, and before I started, I just put some sort of plain newspaper paper just down on the background, just to take it from stark white to kind of an off-white. I could have used my coffee dyed papers. So then for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping, but instead of black, I think I'm just going to use a little bit of brown in the background. And I love that little stamp. I'm going to stamp off. I'll also do some stenciling as well. So, some of these, this stamp set didn't cost that much. And some of the stamps aren't lined up right, but you get what you pay for. Okay, and then I'm just going to do, I think, some of that text stamp. Where I put it, it's stuck. And just get a little bit of stamping down there. Okay. I could do a little bit of the notes, the music notes. I think maybe I'll switch it up and go back to black. So I just want a little bit. Like so in the background. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, and then I'm just going to get those stencils back. There's one here with sort of hexagons. So I think I'll just do a little bit of the vintage photo in the background. So that's kind of nice. Like so, okay. And then with this one, I've spelled out the word Flutterby. Because that's what I used to call the butterflies, Flutterbys. But what color do we want that, actually? My images for this one are just a couple of the little butterflies. And I thought about tarting it up some with some more images, but sometimes I tend to go overboard. But I do think it needs something else. So I'm going to go to these washies that I got at the dollar store. And kind of like this one. Kind of like the sparkle. Actually, I like this one, and I like those hearts. So I'm thinking, why don't I put sparkle down? And then I can go over with the hearts. I couldn't believe these were at the dollar store, because a lot of the ones at the dollar store I don't like, but I liked, there was quite a few that I did like in that. Okay, and we'll just, my scissors are sticky. I'm going to take them out and clean them off. Okay, so then I think that is kind of nice, and then we can, it covers up the stamping, but not down at the bottom. And then I can stamp my Flutterby, although that's plastic. So I'm going to have to use, or I could put the Flutterby there, down there, and put this little one there, and that one over there. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay, but I'm just wondering, these stay on there. If I want to do it in brown, I think I'll do it in black. This black. I'm just going to stamp off. Oh, okay. And I don't even care if it's, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly how I wanted it. I didn't want it to be really bright. I just wanted it to kind of be in the background. And then with this, we'll just do a little distressing. So I've already got my Marguerite Miller out and another Daphne's Diary. So Marguerite Miller will come out on Sunday and Daphne's Diary on Friday. So I'm hoping this weekend, I've had a massive headache, and so I was thinking I would get some stuff done during the week, but it wasn't happening by the time I got off work. I couldn't. So I'm kind of hoping this weekend, now that I have an extra day off, and my headache seems a lot better today. So we shall see. I like getting ahead, because then there's not, you know, as much pressure to get stuff out. I enjoy it so much, though, that it's my happy time. And I could, again, put a little, I think I just need something in that corner. But I'm thinking that I'd like to go to my gems. Let's get some of this stuff pushed back. And either, wonder if the little gold things would look good there. The ones that always look good, I mean, that might look good because there's some gold in there. The ones that always seem to look good, and I'm almost out of them, is the Spellbinders. Here they are these ones here. I think I'll use these. They're like a gold, but I'm almost out of the small ones. I kind of think a couple of that size would work. Those are too small. Oh, but we need to put bodies. We almost forgot to put a body on these guys. Body, yaddy, yaddy. I'm going to just use my pokey tool to pick that up and get a little body on that guy. And then I can use one of these smaller ones for the baby. For that one. And then that will catch the light, which is very pretty. And then what about, so I think if I'm going to use them in there, I'll just go with these little rivets, which I just got at the dollar store. So I'm just going to, I think I'll put 3. See, look, everything's stuck to those scissors. Take them out the kitchen after. Okay, so I've got those 3. Let's pick them up. Get them positioned. I was so happy to see the King open our Parliament this week, on Tuesday. Just made me feel special in some way. Because you don't often get the king coming over to open our parliament, even though he's head of the parliament. And in a democracy like this, he needs to be invited. So maybe he was never invited until Mark Carney came in the office. I'm not sure. But I think that's cute. So I think that's it. I think we've done our 3 cards. I'm going to have a mess to clean up here after. And I'm hoping to get these out. So we have our postcard, our Memorydex, and our Rolodex. So I hope you enjoyed that. I think I always say that and then say, I hope you enjoyed that. And then, oh, look, there's something else. I just think that I need another butterfly there. And I had a little thing of butterflies that I had already cut out here. So I think I'm going to add, there was another little one here. And I think this would be perfect. You know, don't be afraid to put those last minute. If you think it's going to make a difference to how you like it, then take the time to do it. I had this almost prepared and I had it sat down there and I thought, oh, do I need 3? But obviously I do. For sure. Got to go over and get the mail later. I think with this one I'm gonna take off his little antenna there. And just dress him up a little bit. And then I'll have to put a little gem in his belly. And then we will be finished. Because I think that could be like Mama, Papa, and Baby. And I'm going to put a really sparkly one on him. Like so. All right, I think that's better. What do you think? Was it worth taking a few seconds to do that? I'm not sure. But if you did like this video, I'd love a like, and I'd love for you to subscribe if you'd like to. But until we meet again, I do hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.